Prime Minister Justin Trudeau visited Shoal Lake 40, a First Nations community 2 hours away from Winnipeg. And Trudeau received a private tour of the community, and that experience was documented for a Vice special called Cut Off, which premieres Sunday. Now, joining us to discuss the whole situation in Shoal Lake is Canada and other Indigenous communities, because it's a lot more than just Shoal Lake, is Vice host Sarian Carson-Fox. Thank you so much for coming in. You know what's mind-blowing about a place like Shoal Lake is that it is only 2 hours away from Winnipeg. It supplies Winnipeg with water, right from the lake.
Absolutely correct. Yep.
And it's been under a boil water advisory for 20 years.
Lifeline reserve. That's right. 20 years with little to no movement.
And there's no actual road into the city, correct? So it's hard to get to, it's hard to get out of. And tell us a little bit about, I guess, what people face there on a day-to-day basis that we would take for granted.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. There's no easy way in or out. It is just 24 kilometers from the Trans-Canada Highway, but it's not connected. So they have a barge, but it's in pretty rough shape, so it's often out of order. That's the only way to get cars back and forth from the mainland as well. So the cars that are over there are just what's made it across. So during the winter, there is a little bit of an ice road, but it's very dangerous. And with climate change, it's been steadily less and less time of the year that you can use it. So quite often in the winter, if you get sick or if you need to go to a hospital or a clinic, you have to be airlifted out or be able to go into a boat, which can sometimes be very dangerous. And if you need medical attention, not the best scenario. So just basic human rights like access to clean water, access to proper schooling.
Well, there's no school past, what is it, grade 8?
Grade 8, yeah.
So you have to leave and go to Kenora or Winnipeg to go to school?
Yeah. And if you imagine being like 13 or 14 years old and having to leave your family and go to high school at that age is,
That's a lot, especially you're at your most uncomfortable stage in your entire life, and then you got to leave home.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you look, like, even in Cut Off, a lot of the main themes that come up is residential school and the effects that has had on these people. And I think that having to leave for school once again just, falls into that same systemic, way that we've been treating Indigenous people for a long, long time now. So.
And this is not a isolated incident, and it surprises Canadians all the time because you host a show called Rise, and firsthand what it is for. Is there just 100? Is it 100 communities across the country that have boil water advisories that have lasted 20, sometimes 15, 20 years?
Yeah, give or take. There's always seems to be people who are slowly coming off, and then new communities who are entering on.
This is Canada.
This is Canada. And this has been going on for way too long. And, the Trudeau government has promised to end all boil water advisories in the next 5 years. And that was one of the things that, we were really hoping to hold him to when we did this
So
piece.
when he came in, what did you show him? What did you talk about? What were the things that you kind of took away from those conversations that occurred? Yeah,
I mean, I think one of the most impactful things to do with the Prime Minister, I don't think that, not many people have sat in the back of a truck and delivered water door to door with a sitting Prime Minister. So I think that just being able to do that and to see him fully immersed in the community and having to experience that was pretty eye-opening for me, but also gave me an opportunity to see him engage with the community, which I think was the most important thing here, is that Shoal Lake 40 has the opportunity to speak for themselves and to really show the Prime Minister what exactly it means to be living like this.
One last thing, there's a picture on your Instagram account that I saw last night when I was looking, doing some research for this. And what I found interesting about this picture is the look on your face and Prime Minister Trudeau's face. What are you telling him in this picture?
Yeah, that's a great photo. That's actually right before he took off from a day and the day in the community. And I said to him, thank you so much for your visit, but I will be watching very closely to see that you keep these promises that you've made to the community.
So the documentary Cut Off premieres Sunday at 10 p.m. on Viceland and City, and of course, Viceland.com. Sarian, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Have a great day.